This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everybody. We always talk about energy, and people use it in different terms, like I'm low on energy today, or I got to focus my energy over there. The energy thing is real. You really do have energy, and it's not just, I'm running a triathlon and I ran out of steam, and you think that's just your energy, but no, we're sending our energy many times in many different areas, might not even be aware that we're doing it. And one of the ways that our bodies store that energy, process that energy, I'm using those terms loosely, I'm not the expert, she is, but it's called a chakra, and we have them in our body. Call them energy centers, if you will. And as a Reiki master and practitioner at Calming Vibrations, she's going to enlighten us on this whole chakra thing. Samantha Somervill joins us on the program. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, good to have you back here.
Yeah. So we're going to talk today about chakras. I know it's a very foreign concept to a lot of folks, but the idea of chakras have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Chakras itself is an energy center within the body, and it plays a really crucial role in our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Now, the concept of chakras comes from ancient India spiritual practices, and the word chakra means disc or wheel in Sanskrit. So when you think of chakras, I mean, if you think of the main seven, you think of it as a spinning disc of energy that needs to stay opened and aligned. So they correspond to different bundles of nerves in your major organs throughout your body. And then they have different energy, they correspond and affect your different emotional and physical health. So they're often described as resembling a wheel with pedals, and they revolve around a central core. So the different energies pulse and whirl in a circle or harmonic motion. So any changes in the energy field are quickly picked up by the chakras, which may or may not respond as expected. So each chakra has a unique color and speed of rotation depending on your state of health or quality of life. So if it's moving slow or closed, something's happening. So if, for instance, if someone is emotionally upset for a prolonged period of time, this energy impacts the entire energy and emotional field, affecting the body's organs such as the kidneys or the intestines. So you have 7 that go along your spine, and they each have a different meaning and purpose. And they're called major because they reach further into the universe or deeper into your earthly experience. So they're what helps us move along in our purpose, basically.
So I want to interject here for just a moment. I know this can be a little deep for some of us. If you want to reach out to us, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. Or if you're comfortable talking, 631-319-6275. So we're talking about the 7 major chakras. I've heard at some point that there's way more than that in our bodies, but the 7 are the main ones. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, there are minor chakras that are secondary because, and they are useful for your healing. They're just not destinations in our evolution. Basically, they don't move us forward, but they help. And there are so many other chakras in your body, like you can have them behind your ear, and your belly button, and in your elbow, and your wrists, but those are not your major ones, but they do help in processing your healing as you go forward, depending on what you're trying to work on.
I think we might have a call. Hi, can you hear us?
Sure.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hey. Hi, how's it going, guys?
It's going well. Who's this?
Hi, this is Kenny. I had a question, if possible, about Reiki.
Please go right ahead.
So I wanted to know if you guys would say there's like anything specific I need to do to prepare for distance Reiki. Like, anything I need to do on my end specifically to prepare for that?
That is a great question. The biggest thing for a distance Reiki is just make sure that you have a quiet space, that you're not going to be disturbed for an amount of time, that you set up with the practitioner, and that you feel comfortable in that space. Um, the biggest thing I always make sure, this is going to be funny, but make sure you go to the bathroom and that you're very comfortable before that period of time. If and talk, have a good conversation with the Reiki practitioner beforehand and make sure they understand anything that you want them to work on. But then have an open mind. Be very open to it. The more closed you are to receiving, then you won't get anything out of it. But it's the more open you are, the more you'll receive from the session.
All right.
So, okay.
Did you have
Yeah,
any?
those are some really helpful tips I'll be noted to keep in mind. Like, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Oh, appreciate you checking in.
Absolutely.
So, quick question based on that, and then we'll get back to the chakras.
Sure.
I've heard that after a Reiki session, you should drink a lot of water. Is that true?
Absolutely, because your body's processing that energy. So you want to make sure that you drink a lot of water. There's also a period where you might go through, it's almost like a detox, where your body is flushing any negative energy or anything going through. So sometimes it depends on the individual. Sometimes you'll feel like you had the flu. So you might get a cold, or it feels like a cold, or you feel like a little run down, or you need a big nap. Like sometimes you need a
Mm,
nap
mm,
because you have to process that energy or whatever is, needing to flush out of your system. So if you feel a little fatigue for a couple of days, that can be normal. Do not worry that, hey, something's wrong with me. That is a normal process that sometimes goes through with the Reiki. Sometimes you feel really energized after a session, and that depends on the individual, but that detox can sometimes happen for a couple days up to a
mm,
week. It depends on the
mm.
individual and what was processed in that session.
And that's a good thing because if you're experiencing some symptoms, and when we talk about feeling like you have the flu, that's kind of the extreme. But let's say you've gone through a lot of emotional stuff, and then you finally had an energy clearing. You're getting rid of the negative energy and the stuff that doesn't support you. So it might be, an adverse effect, but it's all for the best. It'll be temporary, and you'll be feeling much better once you clear that energy out. When you clear somebody's chakras, is that Reiki?
Yes, it's energy.
Mm,
And you know, Reiki is just one form of doing that. You can also do it with yoga, Tai Chi. It's all moving the energy through the chakras. It just depends on which supports you the best because you need to, it depending on the issue that you're having, whether it's a root chakra issue where you're having maybe an issue you're having in the root, which is found in the base of the spine. Sometimes that can be like a possible disconnection from the world, maybe insecurity, restlessness, low energy. That can manifest as like anxiety, depression, anger, resentment. So a clearing of the root chakra, you're like not grounded, you feel very unstable. Clearing that can make you feel more connected to the world and just to your life. Um, Sometimes when you're doing a Reiki session, you'll get a message to say maybe you do need to do some yoga, or maybe you need to be walking outside more, or connecting to nature. So it all depends on when you're working with someone. Maybe there's a recommendation to do other things.
mm. So the seven major chakras, shall we go through them? Can we do that?
Sure. All right. So I'll name them first and then we'll come back through them
Gotcha.
and where they are.
By the way, I've heard
Yeah.
them a million times. I still get most of them confused. And there's only seven?
Yeah. Well, there's more than seven, but we'll
Well,
start
seven
with the
major
major
ones.
ones
Seven,
today.
right, exactly.
Yeah. So the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine, that's the color is red generally. Then you have the sacral chakra, which color is orange, and that's like in your lower abdomen, right pelvis, general area. Then you have the solar plexus chakra, which is about color of yellow, generally. It's like located midway between like your solar plexus and your base of your sternum. So about a little bit above your belly button and base of your sternum. And then your heart chakra is, the color is generally green, is located in the center of your chest. That one, when you talk about minor chakras, there are 3 there, but your major one is your major heart chakra.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Pause button.
Yeah.
All right. I
Yeah.
never heard that. All right.
Yeah.
Did I hear it right that you have
Hmm.
out of the 7 major, one of them obviously is the heart chakra, but there's
Yeah.
other ones near the heart chakra?
Yeah. Yeah. You have minor ones like above and below your major heart chakra. You have your upper heart and then your
Wow.
lower. Yeah.
Ooh. All right.
So,
I just learned
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I never even, nobody has ever said that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
sometimes you need a little extra there depending on the balance you need. Then you have the throat chakra, which of course is at the throat, and that's blue. Then you have your third eye, which is located right at your eyebrows or in the forehead. Sometimes it's a little higher for some folks.
Hmm.
And that one is generally indigo is about the color.
Okay.
And then you have the crown chakra, which is right on top of your head, and that is generally violet. So
Wow.
all the way through. So it
Hmm.
runs on what's called the Hara line, which runs through your body.
So did I hear you say before, Samantha, that
Hmm.
they run along the spine like it's all connected?
Hmm.
I've never heard that before too, but it makes perfect sense
Yeah.
because when you start with the root chakra, that's at the bottom of your spine, right? And the stomach chakra, kind of along the way, the heart chakra and on up. So never thought of it that way. Interesting.
So when you think of balancing, if one is a little bit off, that's where you get out of alignment. And so sometimes they can spin a little off and you need to get rebalanced or realigned. You'll hear yoga instructors that talk about the realignment of, your Hara line. You'll hear Reiki teachers talking about rebalancing and aura balancing. It's the same idea of getting you back into alignment and clearing.
Hmm. Um, can we go into what each one of those chakras do?
We sure can. So if we're talking about the root chakra, as I said before, this one represents family and abundance. So it's grounded, you're connected to the earth. This makes you feel safe. This is how you're connected to, this is you're feeling more and secure in your place in the world. So when you're thinking of a mantra for the root chakra is I am safe and secure. When you're talking about the sacral, this is where your feelings of self-worth, pleasure, creativity, sexuality. So this is when you're thinking about this one, it's your mantras, I am creative and passionate. This is where our creativity is.
Hmm.
So this is where this is coming from. Your solar plexus is where our self-esteem and self-confidence is. And so when you're thinking of this one is I am confident and empowered. So this is where, you have that self-confidence and self-esteem to face the world, I guess you could say. The heart chakra is where you have your ability to love and connect with others. So your empathy, your relationships. So it's like your mantra there is I am loved and loving. Your throat chakra, which you would obviously think that's where you communicate and express yourself. So it's your ability to express what you're feeling, your thoughts, or even if you're doing like public speaking or be
Hmm.
able to communicate clearly. So sometimes if you can't communicate the correct words or lack confidence expressing those words, that's where you would have an issue there.
Or
So
can't ignore this one.
yeah,
You're not speaking your truth. You have things to say to people, and you just, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just suck it up and not say a word, but you're living with that potentially negative energy because you haven't let it out, and it's going to manifest in your throat chakra.
It will.
Mm,
It will. So the mantra for that one is, I am honest and expressive.
mm.
Now, your third eye is your intuition and insight. So that is if you are having if you're having problems staying calm, stressful situations, no exhaustion, indecisive, that's where you would have some imbalance. So your mantra for that one is, I am intuitive and aware. So it helps you be more aware of what is going on.
I had no idea, by the way, that there were mantras that go along with this. And I write in my mind, I'm taking notes because I write in a gratitude journal every day. And I bought it on Amazon, $8, not even kidding. It's just,
Yeah.
and it's got the fields to fill out, just makes it easy. You could use a notebook too, whatever. And there's daily affirmations. And sometimes I'm a little stuck. What am I? I am ... And I think there's a field for 2 or 3. There definitely is. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. But the things that you're saying are great to put in there, to rotate them around. Like even the word passionate. Yes, I'm passionate about a lot of things I do, things at work. So these are the mantras. I didn't even know there were mantras connected with the chakras. So I appreciate that.
There are. And then you can meditate on them. You can think about them. You could say, am I here? Is there something I need to do to expand these areas? So then it takes us to the crown chakra. That represents spiritual wisdom, empathy. How are you connected? Whether you believe in a spiritual power, God, or the universe, however you're connected, this is where you connect to outside of yourself. So this is where you would have possible issues of feeling incomplete with no purpose. Maybe you have headaches, worry. Um, the mantra for this one is, I am connected and at peace.
Hmm.
So this is where you would find your peace and connected.
So in a session with you, would you go through all the chakras in a Reiki session and clear out any negative energy?
As best I can.
Mhm.
Sometimes, we may say, depending on the person, we would consult, and I have a consultation on my site, 15 minutes. So we could talk to see if I am the right person for you. Because maybe I'm not. Maybe I need to refer you to someone else that I know because of something you're looking for. Um, but I would go through, see what I feel for you, clear through what I can. And it may be you need to come back for another session, or maybe you're good with one.
Hmm.
And it just depends on that person. Do they feel that that one session was good for them, or they need more than one? And we will see what we need to clear through. So it just depends on the individual. I try to clear through as much as I can. Now, I will say, sessions with me, I have a very calming, peaceful energy. Most people tend to fall asleep for me. So my energy is just very calm. So everybody's energy is a little bit different, but I tend to really relax people. So if that's what you're looking for, generally that's what you're going to get from my sessions.
So can I share what somebody told me once and your thoughts on it?
Yeah, sure.
Did a Reiki session. I've done it a number of times, mostly
Yeah.
virtual. And after a session, they came back and said that my third eye chakra was kind of mucked up. They cleaned it as best they can. Um, but it's more clogged, if you will, than usual. And they said that I make up for that by having a keen sense of BS using other chakras and other senses. That's what I was told. And I kind of, when it comes to the third eye, I feel that I don't see, lack of a better description, the future as well as I should. Because some say also there's, a level of intuitiveness. We all have it, but, mine is a little higher. Some psychics tell me, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm not getting that. And maybe that connects to the third eye. What are your thoughts overall there?
Um, I will say, I mean, like on my journey, um, now I'm also working on the wheel, the medicine wheel for shaman as well. I'm in my first year for that. So I'm doing a lot of shadow work for myself.
Hmm.
So um, I will say the me now is not the me that was like 10 years ago.
Same here. Put me at
So
five, by the way. Five. Yeah, I got you.
so you learn that a lot of things, and I'll speak from personal experience, like I was blocking myself. I had to get out of my way. A lot of things like I couldn't see because I was blocking me. So when they tell you that, I think it's more of a you have to, I was learning to surrender a lot more
Mm,
to the process,
okay.
to the universe, to saying I had to stop controlling some things.
Mm.
And when you try to control a lot of things, that blocks being able to see.
I see this clearer now.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I really mean that because this was told to me well, maybe 2 years ago, maybe two and a half, whatever. Um, I'm not the same person I was then in terms of journey, shadow work, et cetera, et cetera. So, maybe it's not mucked up because I might have been blocking myself, like you just said.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Our time, our journey, it gets us where we need to be. We just have to put in the work sometimes.
Well, I'm in a men's group and we have a mantra and we're in different tours of this group and there's six different things we say and we repeat them every time we get together. And we're a community service leadership group as well, but we do shadow work. And one of them is trust the process. And I think that applies to what you just said.
Yeah. And trusting the process is hard because
Yes,
it really brings that word surrender to the process. And it's hard for
for
a lot
sure.
of us, especially, I'll admit it, as Gen X folks that, that want to let go. So yeah, trusting the process and surrender is hard and that
Mm.
takes time.
And certainly too, when you're somebody saying, well, when is it going to change? When is this going to happen? When is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Take your phone and throw it away. Take your watch and throw it away. You're on universe time. So it happens when it's supposed to happen. You got to trust that it will. Trust the
Yeah.
process. Hmm.
Always.
Love the insight today. Samantha, how do we find you? If somebody even just wants to start a phone call with you
Yeah.
and just, questions. I know this can be a little woo for some. I
Yeah.
understand it, but once you delve deeper into it, it is life-changing. How do we connect with you?
Absolutely. You can reach out to me at calmingvibrations.com. I do have a schedule out there where you can schedule a 15-minute consultation if you want to, totally free. We can have a chat and see what we can do for you, or if I need to help you find a different path. But look at my calendar. Let's see what we can schedule. If you cannot find a spot, send me a note at contact at calmingvibrations.com and I can talk to you and we can figure out what we can do.
Love it. Yeah, if you're somebody feeling maybe a little stuck, some people use that as a description. Maybe it's stuck energy that's keeping you in that spot, and you got to clear it out. And by the way, you don't have to do anything. Just just relax. You do all the work. Samantha, thank you so much for today. All the insight. I thought I knew a little bit about this. I learned a lot today, and I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.